Thank you everyone for joining me today, and thank you very much, Ron, for including us actually in this talk track to talk about reInvent and a lot of things that are happening there. And a lot of the updates have to deal with the speed and ease of access of to the actual your data and platform. So the hyperscaling and adding all the different servers that they have there. Now you're going to have this quicker access to the data and quicker means of creating data. And then you're going to have this ability to where now customer data is going to be much more readily available to you, right? So here with Satori, introduce myself, José Gomez. I'm a solutions architect here, and you may see that picture on there. Yes, I was an American Ninja Warrior a couple seasons back. And here at Satori, here, what I try to do here is do the same thing I do in Ninja Warrior, which is to overcome obstacles and all the obstacles that you have and try to put them into real life situations that you can actually overcome. And in this case, it's being able to protect your customers' data with us in AWS. And that leads me into a lot of the things that we're seeing today, which is the breaches that you're seeing with customer data. And highlight from a personal reason. I mean, I got one of these letters in the mail. I don't know how many of you have got these letters in the mail that actually say notice of breach. Right? So it's so real. What happened? A third party accessed and obtained certain information without authorization with two accounts that they had recently established. So this is real life stuff that we're seeing out here. And my data was out there. It has there's the saying that's my birthday and social security numbers out there, which is data is a high commodity out there. Is the cost alone for something like this? They're giving me access, to some type of identity protection fraud alert system that now have been charging people a monthly subscription for. They're giving it to me for free, right, for 2 years. So how many of these you may have received compounding over time, you're having to pay out so much, right? And this is just a small cost for just one particular person, which would be myself in this case. So the question is, how is your customer data really protected in all the things that are being implemented today? And so you have to try to figure out how you can actually do these things. And here at Satori, we try to help you try to identify that. So again, your customer data is only secure as the place in which you have the controls. So in this landscape, it's becoming much more paramount as businesses are increasingly relying on cloud environments such as AWS, because the rise in these breaches and attacks emphasize the how much of the security measures that are in place right now have to have these safeguarded the sensitive information for you. Now, we have to understand this in order for us to be able to secure it is what is the actual responsibility do you have versus AWS, as Ron alluded to, right? There's so much more that they actually do for us, which is to help manage the security of the cloud infrastructure, which that in itself is very difficult. Apply the physical security, network security, the hardware, which we just learned out even more of, and the other technologies behind all of that. They're giving you access to these tools to make your life and managing that whole infrastructure much easier, giving you the visibility in the things that you need to do so you can do your job much quicker, and also ensure the compliance of the security standards, which is we've also seen that AWS is working towards doing today. But there's another side of it, which is you have even more responsibility to this, which is to protect the data that your customers have access to within the platform that you're building everything on. Also, to be able to provide access, which is secure access, to all of this data for everyone who else is utilizing the services, maybe in this case, as I mentioned, a third party, and making sure that the right encryption protocols are being used. And also with that, maintain compliance in whatever that may be, whether it's, for HIPAA or the GDPR, CCPA, PCI, whatever the compliance regulatory, you need to be able to have those controls in place and to have these tools to help you give visibility into all of that. Now, some of these challenges in protecting this data is trying to understand where everything is, right? You have all this data everywhere within AWS, as we saw also earlier today, all the different types of databases and database types that they're using, and including AI that you have access to help manage this data. So try to understand where that is a challenge all in itself. And maintaining access the appropriate access to it adds the additional layer to that. Because then, as we also have seen, is that having people to have access to it, all the security controls, whether it's the services, service accounts, whether it's individual users, whether it's the root user, whether it's someone else who's managing the data, the third party, you're going to try to have to figure out how do I manage all that access within the platform. It's possible, but it's also very cumbersome as well. Monitoring that access is another thing, right? So you need to figure out exactly how that's actually happening as well through everything. And then, of course, adhering to the compliance regulations, and also with the threat landscape always changing, not knowing how they're actually going to do it or use the data, it makes it very difficult for you to actually even try to plug these things within AWS itself in managing those things. And again, your data visibility. So there are as you can see, quite a bit of challenges when you get into the AWS space, when you're moving into something that is fast paced, and when you have to actually be very agile at creating more data, giving access to the data, and then maintaining controls over all of it. It becomes very cumbersome. Well, that's where we come in. So Satori, we seamlessly integrate with AWS key services to give you enhancing the actual data security and operational efficiency. So we support the things like S3, RDS, DynamoDB, Aurora, Lambda functions, and, RAG deployments, providing a comprehensive data protection for you. And so we're compatible with security tools that you can use, such as your SIM or DLP solutions you may have outside of there to help actually provide a unified security posture and be able to feed that data back out so you can have access to that and help identify risk and help understand how things are being used. We also provide streamlined workflows to help reduce the complexity of managing multiple security tools and provide to help you with improve your incident response time. And so the way that you can see how we have access to this is that with us, layering on top of your security, having us being able to be in between how those things are being accessed, we give you that common access layer of data. We give you the non-intrusive instant onboarding from it, and also we built in for data ops, right? DevOps. We allow you to be able to use things like Terraform, again, as I mentioned, Lambda functions and running REST APIs to be able to help programmatically access these controls and get data back out of it as well. Some of these key capabilities, as I mentioned, is some of the challenges, comparatively to what saw for AWS, or is the discovery and classification. That's something that we do within the platform. We help you identify where your data is, how it's being used as well. And I think that leads us into the posture management, which gives you the visibility into your security issues and help improve your posture. So there's tools that are in there for you along with the data access governance, which is a key thing, is like, how is this being used? Is it being adhered to the policies that I've set up within my organization? Are the people who are using the actual tools themselves appropriated or utilized appropriately? And the data access is one of the most important, features, as you know, is the security and data management for the perspective and being able to monitor all of that data and be able to provide from a security perspective, all of the logging. How detailed is it? And we provide very detailed reports and logging and also provide different tools for you to be able to export into um, your specific DLP systems along with security systems as well. And all of this is actually very achievable at scale for us because of the way that we are integrated with different types of systems, in this case, AWS. And being built on top of AWS actually helps us with increasing of the speed and minimizing any type of latency, if anything, for you to be able to allow your tools, or you allow the people and allow the analysts or data consumers to have access to the data from one location. And because we are able to be in so quickly and nimble in all of doing this, and we have the ability to leverage not just the AWS platform, everything what you saw today, we're leveraging here, we can do for other types of data ecosystems, whether they be in Databricks, they can also be within let's see, your on-prems, your SQL servers, your Postgres. So we have different type data lakes data and in other AI ecosystems. So we're agnostic to where that is, and we can provide you the ability to control all of that as well. So the key benefits of actually using us and us being able to be there for you, as I mentioned, is risk reduction, right? Because you have us in place and we are the point of uh, governance for you for all the data and the access and how it's being leveraged and sitting in between securely your applications and your databases that you would need to have and users having access to it. We can help you minimize the risk of these breaches because you have better control and it's easier for people to use this. You have an improved security posture with us to you have a with because we're able to see what's going on and be able to enumerate and find them as soon as data sources are even added within your environment, being connected to your organization. And we have a simplified management platform, which includes like a dashboard that it allows you to understand how your security posture looks, who's actually being used, who's using it, how it's being used, how much is actually governed, and what you may need to remediate or follow up on as well. And doing all this because you're being able to manage this from a single platform, you're able to have the cost savings along with the cost savings of not, avoiding, as I was mentioning here, even something like like a breach or even have to pay for additional services in that case. So, in conclusion, with all of this, proactive customer data protection is essential to mitigate risk associated with your data breaches in AWS environments, right? This is just something that's just we know. We know within the day's landscape of trying to be able to protect and keep your customers' data protected. There's so many different things in the breaches that are out there and constant hackers trying to change things. We have to be proactive and put something in place and something that's easy. And so if you by understanding the shared responsibility actually helps you understand and how you can actually achieve that and actually at where you need to go in the next steps and to get to a better place so you can have a positive security posture. And we provide a comprehensive solution that helps you address all these challenges within AWS and also outside of AWS. And whether you're still in the process of migrating from on-prem and into the cloud because we have the ability to be outside of that, or if whether you have multiple data sources or data sets that you have to have access and control, and you don't want to have a platform for each specific type of architecture. We help you solve that, providing one comprehensive solution to address that as well. And with those key features, they include the automated discovery, and the fine-grained access control, the real-time monitoring, and the compliance support, with all of that. So investing in something like a data protection program, not even, just safeguards your sensitive information, but as you can tell, it enhances your business reputation and saves you money in the long run. Now, you don't have to take my word for it. I'd like to actually share this, this case study that we've had with Wealthsimple. They face a significant challenge in balancing rapid growth and innovation and their need to actually protect sensitive customer data. And as you know, they're a wealth management company. You may not know that, but they're a wealth management company within Canada that is actually has come in to leverage cryptocurrency. They had to use, we're working in a hyper growth scenario to give people access to apps that access to their data rapidly and including cash. Right. So with that new launch, that meant with dealing with increasing volume and a variety of sensitive data, including something that they needed to have something scalable and adaptable. And because of the diverse data users, including data scientists, analysts, and engineers that had to access the various types of data as they were building these programs, they had to balance the diverse need of appropriate access controls for all of this. They had to maintain agility by being able to have a solution that wouldn't impede in their fast-paced environment. As you know, people want to have access to their data and actually being able to be that requires the complex changes in their existing data infrastructure and workflow. So the implementation had to be very quick and not have to take their systems down as they were currently building it. And their requirements, as you can know, being a financial company and being able to have to deal with their stringent privacy regulations, in it, adding that additional layer for data security needs. So they chose Satori because of our platform. It didn't actually cause them any pain. we're able to be able to deploy in a simple manner, seamless to their currently solution in their infrastructure, which happen to be based off of Amazon Redshift and Okta and Periscope data, without requiring complex configurations or changes. So what we were able to provide for them, some automated data discovery and classification, data masking and filtering, and simplified access control by leveraging their Okta integration and user authentication, and a comprehensive auditing and reporting. So the pre-built reports within the tools itself and monitoring the access helped them ensure their compliance and be able to give what they needed. So when they actually implemented Satori, they were to successfully achieve their need to know access model, ensuring data security without hindering their rapid growth and innovation. So our intrusive deployment actually allowed their teams to continue with their preferred tools without disruption. So if you want to see how we actually do the things ourselves and how I can how the things that I described, you can experience how we do it. There you can request a demo link. A lot of the things today, as you mentioned, this presentation will be handed out. I'm going to go ahead while we're here at the same time, add this into the chat, these links. So you can actually have them and copy and paste them quickly. And then you can also, like, one of the things I'd like to highlight the most is our checklist we just put out there, because this checklist actually helps you, goes through an overview of what you need to do, the steps you need to take to help secure your customer data, and it gives you an idea of an actual, I would say, a blueprint that you would need so you can actually do this efficiently, whether it's in AWS or anywhere else you're trying to achieve as well. And for that, I thank you.